Well, you've already seen our test drive of the new Compass that's all set to be launched, but we've decided to give it a more rigorous workout. We're headed off to the Netravati Wildlife Sanctuary just outside Goa to put it in its natural environment, off-road, and put it through its paces.
Now, I know some of you have seen the whole review and felt it was a little overkill, but I have to agree with Shapur. Once you get in this car and behind its wheel, it begins to grow on you in many different ways. The interiors impress straight off and do feel premium enough. Fit and finish is also really good, and it does come with its fair share of features. But the list is not as comprehensive as some of the competition. What we did miss most was the navigation, especially since Apple CarPlay does not support maps. And a lot of people will also expect a sunroof. Though global cars have it, it is missing in India, and engineers tell us that if the requests are enough, they can offer a variant with a sunroof almost immediately. We headed to the outskirts of Goa, and the more I drove, the more I enjoyed the Compass. The diesel engine runs smoothly and packs in enough punch to make you smile. The gearbox needs a bit of a heavy hand, especially shifting to second, but it's not to the point of being a bother. It's just heavier than others.
Now, we've been driving an hour and a half or so out of Goa, and first we went through the narrow lanes of Goa, weaving through traffic, then we were out on the highway, and now we're on this nice, twisty, windy section of road that leads up to the Netravati Wildlife Sanctuary. So it's given me a good experience of what the Compass is like in quite a few conditions, and I have to say it's made a good companion so far. It's impressed me, actually. You can amble around easily and weave through traffic. There were times when I was in third gear at 1000 RPM, and all I had to do was put my foot down and it would get a move on easily. And then cruising out on the highway, it just breathes so easily, gets up to speed quickly, cruises comfortably, and it feels so stable and planted. The steering gives you a good sense of security, and the ride quality is actually quite shattering. You can come up on potholes, deep ruts, and it just dismisses them with aplomb. You really don't feel much going on underneath the tires. And, you know, because it had this nice soft pliancy to the ride, I was wondering what it would be around corners. But this has impressed me even here. Quick changes of direction, body roll is so well contained, you can carry a fair amount of speed around the corners. The steering feels good, there's a nice heft to it, and you can really have fun.
So far, the Compass was ticking off all the right boxes and had made the 2-hour journey pretty effortless. The word Jeep, however, makes you imagine rugged terrain. And the thing to know is, if you're looking to buy one for that reason, is that at launch, the 4x4 option will only be offered on the diesel variant. The petrol manual will get it next, and the petrol auto last. We dived into the forest, turning the terrain select dial to mud, and hit the trail to find out how well the 4x4 on our diesel variant worked.
And of course, the rains allowed us a whole load more of fun. We threw everything at it. Logs, rocks, steep inclines, declines, slush, muck, and it handled it all beautifully. But why am I speaking? Let the visuals speak for themselves.
There was always enough torque to clamber up gradients, even on a gentle throttle. Driving through the slushy bits, you could feel the system working, shifting power to the wheels that needed traction, and we sailed smoothly through. Now, here's a fact that people should know, because there's been discussion on ground clearance these days. And though the lowest point on the Compass is actually 208 millimeters off the ground, the figure you will see on paper is probably 153 millimeters. That's because the Indian certification norms have changed and now require a vehicle of this size to have a 400 kilogram of load before being measured up. All I can say is, don't go by those numbers. The Compass does just fine. We never had a problem going over any of the stones along the way or wading through the waterbed. Now, this short second review may come across as all positive too. But the Compass is a vehicle that will steal your heart quite easily, whether it's the way it looks, the interior quality, the way it drives, or just the shatteringly good ride.
Now, after having spent a day with the Jeep Comapss and putting it through its paces on-road and off-road, I have to say I'm impressed. And I could give you a long list of reasons why, but I think the best way to put it is that this is a car I'd like to buy myself.